Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Rich Maloney, who, of course, is the head coach at Ball State in baseball. How's it going?
Going good. Thank you, Casey. Yeah. Glad to be on your podcast, and we're excited for the season.
Let's talk about this season so far for you guys. How have winter workouts been going? I know practice just started a few weeks ago. I know the season's going to get started in just a few weeks. How excited are you guys about this upcoming year?
Yeah, we're real excited. We have a great group of young men. They had an outstanding fall. We have a lot of new guys, but we still had a lot of guys back. So I think we had like 14 new players. So the interesting dynamic in coaching is getting those guys to pull together and unite and get to know each other and, play together. It's about the team, as Bo Schembechler used to say. And, that's what we're about here at Ball State, always have been and always will be. And guys did a great job. I think another thing we did really well that was really cool, Casey, is a few years ago, one of my friends, Danny McDonald at Louisville, the head coach over there, had told me about something he did on teaching competitiveness within his team. And I implemented it. And then Bill Zenizak and I, my strength training coach, we took it to a whole different level for us, made it our own. And we created 4 teams. We had a draft, and Bill did a great job with this, where the guys picked teams. So of our 38 players divided equally among 4 teams. And we had competitions at the end of our weightlifting, at the end of our speed training, sometimes at the end of practice. And those constituted variety of different things, tug of war with the teams. And you got points for them. And then you added them up at the end. You got your grades counted as points. Guys did a great job in the classroom. We did a 3.4 GPA cumulative as a team, which is amazing. So real proud of the guys for that. But anyway, we had a winner at the end, and we had a steak dinner for the winners and hot dogs for the losers. How great is that?
Well, I think either is a win-win for me. So yeah. So here's the other thing with that. Also, let's let's go back and let's go around. Take me around the diamond. Tell me and tell people watching this who is going to be out there for Ball State going.
At first base, we got Trenton Quartermain. He's a fifth-year senior, outstanding hitter. He hit over 300 for us last year, really coming into his own. I expect him to have a really big year for us. And he's one of our leaders, without a doubt. Second base, we got Justin Conant, who's also a senior. He actually has another year left due to COVID, but he has been a steady Eddie for us, kind of a utility player, plays second, third, and short for us. This year he'll be at second, and he'll be competing with Zach Lane, who's really come on strong as a second baseman as well. So those guys will both see action, and then one of them will take the job. Shortstop, we get Adam Tellier, one of our leaders, outstanding player, broke into the lineup last year, has a chance to be a draft pick, hit over 300 for us, just a dynamic player, a big spark plug for our team. Third base, we got a fixture, Ryan Peltier, who was second all Mid-American Conference, second team. And Ryan's waiting for that breakthrough year. He had a good year last year, but we think Ryan's very capable of putting up some pretty big offensive numbers, and we're hoping this is that year that he really comes into his own. At catcher, we lost a great one in Chase Sebi. He was the defensive player in the Mid-American Conference, both in 219 and then again in 221. And so that's hard to replace, but Adam Christensen's been in the backdrop of him, and Adam's a good player, a left-handed hitter as well. And Adam will, and then we got Hunter Dobbins and CJ Horn and Matt Rivera battling for the second spot right now. In right field, we've got a fixture, Nick Powell, hit 346, second team All-MAC last year. Quite honestly, I felt like he should have been first team. He was phenomenal for us. We got Nick back, which gives us a big 3 and 4 in having Nick and Trenton back to back. And then Tellier in the 2-hole is pretty good. And then center field, we got a grad transfer, Amir Wright, and he's outstanding. He was from St. Leo, and he's going to come in, and we're not going to miss a beat in center field because he's a heck of a player. And he'll be our leadoff hitter. And then in left field, we got a nice battle between Decker Scheffler, who hit well as a freshman for us, and then Zach Cole, who's probably, from a skill set standpoint, the most talented player we have on our team. but really just hasn't come into it yet. But this fall, he started to come into it. So we're hoping that he breaks through, because if he breaks through, that'll really add something to our team. Then on the mound, we lost three great pitchers. John Baker's a legend here. Chase McDermott was a 4th-round pick, and Luke Jaksic was an outstanding 3rd starter for us. So we've got a lot of innings to, for players to fill, but we have a lot of talent on the mound. And Trenner O'Donnell broke into the starting rotation in the 4th spot last year and has really continued to improve. So he'll be one of our 4 starters. We've got Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson's big 6'6" right-hander, pitched about 30 innings for us last year, has a huge upside, and is starting to come in his own. Sam Klein, right now we've got him on the back end of games, but he could end up being a starter depending on how these other guys do. Sam, like Ty Johnson, is like about 6'3", 6'4", throws in the low 90s. Has really good stuff and should be a major contributor for us. Tyler Schweitzer, a left-handed pitcher, could be a draft pick. Throws in the low 90s with really good breaking stuff. He's been a reliever. We're going to try to make him a starter now, give him that opportunity. We also have we have a freshman, Nate Dome, who's been throwing 92 to 97 right now inside. Yeah. Nate has a chance to be really good. And we got a slew of other guys. We have some transfers: Max McKee, Jake Lewis, Steve Wazalewski, Casey Bargo. So we took from the transfer portal and some 5th-year grads to add depth to our team with the young guys we got, because we feel like we've got a lot of talent there. It's just a matter, it's inexperience. So on paper, you can't, if you look on paper, there's not a lot of innings there that have been accounted for. So those guys are going to have to step up, but we believe they can and will.
Yeah. So looking at where the conference is at this year, I know you guys got to play non-conference games last season. And also going into this season, where do you think the MAC is at right now?
Yeah, I think the MAC, as far as baseball goes, I thought the league was really strong last year. And that says like Central and us had RPIs that were in the top 50, which is hard to do when you have several teams that are in the 200s in RPIs. To get into that point, that says something. Also, that Kent just has a great tradition, and Jeff Duncan and Mike Birkbeck and their staff do a phenomenal job. So you also have Miami has a great tradition, and then you go through the other schools there. You got Toledo's new coach did a nice job last year, and then you got Western's always competitive. And just go down the list, and Eastern's always been for us last couple of years. They've been able to take some games from us and do really well. So it's competitive every weekend, and you're going to have to play our best to be where we want to be. This year the MAC's going to a 4-team play tournament, so at the end, and it'll be at the site of the whoever wins the regular season. So that's how we're going to run. Last year we didn't have a tournament because of COVID. But this year we're going back to that.
Yeah, an interesting 4-team tournament. What's that going to be like?
Well, back in the day, since I've been coaching quite a while, yeah. we did used to have, when I first started coaching, we used to have a 4-team tournament. The good thing about a 4-team tournament is that in the 4-team tournament, with only 4 teams in, you're going to have a great representative. If you go to an 8-team tournament, there's a chance that someone sneaks in, gets hot in one weekend, and then you could have an under 500 team representing the league. We've had that a couple of times, which really isn't in the best interest in our league, in my humble opinion. So the 4-team pretty much assures us that you're going to have one of the, better teams. Now, with that being said, doesn't afford you a lot of opportunity to start off slow, because if you don't get into the top 4, you could be playing well at the end and, find yourself outside looking in. And I'm sure that's happened before in league play. I remember one year, my first year here at Ball State, and back in 1996, believe it or not, we finished 5th that year. And it came down to the last game of the year. We could have been 3rd or we could have been 5th. That was kind of how it turned out. And we didn't make the playoffs. The 4th place team, Akron, that year won the tournament. And, so we were right there, but we didn't get in. We didn't get a chance to participate in that tournament, and that was hard.
what do you guys have to do this year? Like I've asked every coach I've talked to this, but what do you feel like you have to do to get to that point of where you want to be?
Well, for us, I think the big thing is the development of our young pitchers. And so in my career, Casey, we've been able to have, if you look back on my career, both at Ball State, at all the years, and at Michigan, we've had 4 guys in the hopper pitchers wise that were awesome pitchers. In other words, we could have been kind of like, I humbly say this, like Vanderbilt. So you hear Vanderbilt always talked about having these great pitchers. Well, the truth of the matter is at Ball State, we've had our fair share. It's just we haven't had them all developed at the same time. So the timing of events, in other words, just in 2019 on that roster, I had John Baker, who we all know is a phenomenal pitcher in this league. We had Kyle Nicholas, who ended up being a 2nd-round pick, would have been a 1st-round pick if COVID season wouldn't have been cut short. We had Dre Jameson, who was a 1st-round pick. And we had Chase McDermott, 4th-round pick. So you think about that. If all 4 of them were at their peak in their career, everybody's saying, man, Ball State's Vanderbilt, because we've had 4 pitchers that were as good as anybody in the country, but they just weren't in their development phase. So what we do is we take young men who are not already developed. We put them on a good strength program. We get them in a good throwing program, and we develop them. And then when they develop, they become, but the development process for each kid is a little bit different. So when you're at one of the power 5s, like say in the SEC, the guys they're taking isn't about development. They got to have them already ready. See what I'm saying? So their guy, when he walks in from high school, he's already developed. If he doesn't cut the grind, then he's going to be out. Whereas we've got a process. So in year 1, Casey might come in and he's this good freshman. We see all this talent, but maybe he's not ready yet. And then we have Maloney. Maloney comes in there and he's still not ready yet, but we know he's going to be good in another year or 2. And then we have this other dude who comes in as a freshman and he actually is good. He's ready, but they're not all 3 ready. They all 3 end up being good draft picks, but they're not ready at the same time. We got to hope that some of these young bucks end up not being freshmen anymore, playing like sophomores or playing like juniors sooner than later. Yeah. If that happens, we're going to be a dangerous team because we're going to have we got a lot of really good guys here. And we got good experience and we've got good talent. It's just a matter of, can they be consistent enough to win at the level we want to win it?
Yeah. It's always interesting in college baseball and I love it. All right.
Yeah.
Maloney, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us and good luck this season.
Thanks, Casey. Have a great day, man.
All right.